Hello, hello, everybody. Hey, Mark.
Hey,
There we go. All right, let's get started. So, hey guys, how's it going? My name is Justin,
hard.
and watching or listening to episode 426 of DangIT Prodcast. Welcome back, everybody. Mark, how have you been?
Good, how you been?
I'm actually doing pretty well. I was kind of a little bit dicey like earlier this morning. I was yeah, I think it stems from like last night. So last night I wasn't streaming. I was actually wanting to hang out with um David, as you know. And
That's what it was.
yeah, so I was able to go over to like his place for the first time. Not the place I used to go to, but a place he's renting out with
His
his
house.
no, not his house. Because his folks actually moved out of state for work. Um, David and his now fiance are renting an apartment together, and they're doing pretty well.
White guys marrying Asian girls. Let's go.
Let's go. And I we pretty much just spent the whole time talking, but that was totally fine. We like as we get older, it seems like we spend a lot more time just talking than we are just doing physically anything, and I'm just kind of chill with that. But as what was it? Dave's fiance, Stephanie, she was out doing some chores for her family. She had offered to bring back these big old cookies like at this cookie place that's nearby, and I've had them before, and they're fantastic. But I learned,
He just sounds sweet.
I found out that you should never eat two of them. You should only eat
Yeah, all
one.
right. Two is the limit.
Two, two is actually I wouldn't even recommend just two. Like just have one and you're good. Because as I was finishing up that cookie, I felt like kind of weird inside. Like I was like, ugh, this I don't feel really good. I feel cookie wasted.
He said mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made, and then earlier today, because I'm trying to go like to another gym right now, get a membership and everything. So this was like technically my second day working out, and I got a pretty decent workout in, but I felt like really bad as I was driving back home. It was so bad that I was like, okay, what do I need to do to like compete with this? I do know that if you have like some weird headache going on, it means you need to continue like your workout just very mildly. So I just went on to the treadmill we have at home and just walked at a very slow pace, and
Let that
then
go.
it was okay. I was able to kind of like get myself back into it, but I still had that throw up feeling. I was like, oh
Yeah.
no. So I just like I walked over, lifted the toilet seat, and just like I sat there to see what would
Oh
happen.
no, you felt that bad where you're like, oh.
Yeah, like there were quick moments where it felt like it was gonna like pop up, but I just kind of sat there. I looked like Peter B. Parker in the shower. I was just sitting there. I wasn't
It's such
contemplating
a
anything.
terrible feeling.
I was just biding my time just to see what my body would do, and I reached an equilibrium, and I was able to just take a cold shower and I'm now good. But yeah,
He's
other
now
than that,
sin.
I'm great.
He is now sin.
It was rough. So I've now learned only have like one of those cookies at max.
He had to learn the hard way.
So yeah, just also maybe not eat those cookies.
Maybe just don't.
Maybe, yeah, how about you just don't? But I learned something, quite a lot of things while I was hanging out with them in regards to manga and anime and whatnot, specifically shonen actually. So I kind of
Uh,
want to bring that
I
up
was
to
here to
you.
say, do tell.
Yeah, so there's times where Stephanie actually goes over to Japan because David also goes there too. And whenever
Hey, does
she's
he speak
there,
Japanese?
I don't. No, they don't. Um,
I swear David does.
I think David has a fair understanding of it. Yeah,
I know he can play games without needing translations. So I'm just like, yeah, he must speak Japanese or at
may,
least be able to read it.
may not be super efficient when playing a video game, but like I'm pretty sure you could just sit down and like translate at his own pace. Um, but what was I saying? Oh yeah. So Stephanie actually, whenever she goes there, she actually buys like a thing of Shonen Jump every single time she goes there. But she
Oh,
doesn't.
that's sick.
Yeah, she doesn't make it a habit though to maybe she does understand Japanese because like that's not translated stuff. That's just like that's just Shonen
Yeah,
Jump.
well, yeah, it's pure Jap. It's just pure Japanese.
Right.
It's from Japan.
And she only like buys like what's like kind of the current one, the current issue.
And
So
she gets every time she just gets the current issue, so they're a little out of order, but they're still, they're still the real deal.
yeah, what she does is that by doing that, she creates like little pockets in time where she can read in and see like what was the popular like manga at the time because of how.
But you're gonna see a whole lot of differences.
Yeah, it's crazy because I never even thought about it because you told me before, and you're always the one to keep up to date with just like whatever shonen like shows up on Shonen Jump, what falls out, what like comes back in, and the whole thing about the
What's been
popularity
axed.
poll. The popularity poll is like a huge thing for it, and
Yeah, it's legitimately the execution stand.
yeah. So when she opened up like the Shonen Jump, she showed the actual like voting form that people like put in there, and they make it a point where like you can only like do like there's only 3 slots you can vote for, and you see that there's a plethora of like works that in just one big like Shonen Jump like magazine. So
Yes, we used to have those here.
what was super interesting to see was not just that, and actually physically seeing that, but also seeing the order in which like these like chapters are shown. So the very
They
first,
all have. It's like it's very like specific. Like they're all scheduled on the magazine at certain places.
yeah, and what I didn't piece together that Stephanie pointed out was the fact that their placement dictates where they are popularity wise and their current standing in just like the survival of the system of
Basically,
shonen.
the best gets to be first.
The best are first, so legitimately you'll see One Piece there
Yep.
during its prime, like Demon Slayer would be there, Naruto was up there,
Jujutsu Kaisen.
yeah, um and obviously at the end are the ones like that are really like suffering.
Fresh.
Well, at the very
Fresh
end,
or
fresh for like
struggling.
the for the culling.
Well, it's like fresh as in they just started or they're suffering.
Well, actually, I think they make it a point where the new ones get like first of all they get a color spread for their front like for their covers
Oh, yeah,
so that
they always get a color spread so you can know
like
the official colors.
yeah that too, but also as you like go through like the pages, your fingers will automatically stop at the color page just because of the different like material. So
They
that
calculated this.
yeah, and typically also they'll put like the color spread probably sometimes at the front page too. So it's like, oh, okay, well, like this is your like moment of spotlight, and whatever chapters happen afterward, that's all up to you. Um, but yeah, so the ones at the very end are the ones that are most likely going to end, just because no one's really like reading those and putting them on a popularity poll. The exceptions that
So much potential.
Stephanie points out that there's a few kind of exceptions. That's comedy and sports like anime.
Yeah, they usually tend to stick around a lot longer.
Yeah, like Haikyuu is in the back there.
Sakamoto Days.
I'm pretty sure Hitman Reborn was there too.
I love Hitman Reborn. Sakamoto Days is one, and me and Roboco. Sakamoto Days and me and Roboco are the ones that are like the comedies that are like refuse to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. And the ones that are like at this very extreme state are the ones in the dead center.
The ones where they're fine, but they're also scared.
Yeah, it's like the deciding point of like, will they get like a rise up in like popularity or they fall back down? Because the idea is that um some folks, like including myself, will like open up a random book, in this case a magazine, and like look in the very middle of the page, see whatever catches our attention. So
Do you actually always go dead center?
not always dead center, but it's always satisfying to get to the very like center binding, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but it's So what? She just had them like from all kinds of years.
Yeah, from all these different types of years. Like there's one where Assassination Classroom was like the second like chapter.
I love
uh
Assassination
yeah,
Classroom. It's a great series.
it's really good. So it was crazy to see it like right there. Seeing Demon Slayer was something else too. Man,
Oh yeah,
dude,
well, I mean, it didn't end too terribly long ago. It ended like a year or two ago.
this is true. But yeah, this was like she showed the one that introduced it, like the very first chapter of it. It was on the front page.
Oh wow, that's that could be worth some money.
So it was like it was so wild to see it. Oh, that's where she also showed me Horikoshi's work, the very first manga he's ever made. And
Oh yeah, I told you about that one.
yeah, and I never made that connection, the fact that like the main character in that first manga was like a rabbit dude, and then when you see Deku and his like specific like full costume attire, it's a rabbit or a bunny. It's like, whoa, okay, all right, all right, all right. And
I mean, have you seen that? You've seen Doctor Stone? Have you ever seen Sunken Rock?
uh Sunken Runs, who's that?
Sunken Rock. It was the series that Boichi, the artist for Doctor Stone, did before Doctor Stone.
Oh, okay. Then probably not. No.
I'm gonna send you an image.
Uh oh. It's just She-Hulk twerking. Like Mark, I swear to God.
What do you
Yada
notice?
yada yada. Yada. What?
Yada 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 yada. Who does he look like?
This is what it looked like. Oh my God.
Puff Senku.
that it's a couple syllables off from Son Goku.
Son Goku.
My God,
But yeah,
dude.
the main character, his appearance and hair is very similar to
Yeah,
Senku.
yeah. And back to Horikoshi. Yeah, they just have a Gang Orca there too. And
I do like Gang Orca.
Gang Orca is actually the villain in that first manga, the main villain.
Shout out to when he was voted one of the most villainous looking heroes.
Yeah, that's on purpose. Now I get it. But man, do I they showed like, well, Stephanie showed a couple of the pages of that chapter of that zoo manga for Horikoshi. And I was like, man, dude, it looks really good. And it's opened my eyes to the fact that there's a lot of good stuff there, but it's pure solely on popularity. But if you get like anime adaptation, you're good. You're good. You're in the running, and it's
And he also did another one in 2000. I'm looking right now. Yeah, it was 2012. It was Barrage.
that's why. Okay, I did like a Google search on like other works, and I was like, Barrage is there. I've seen Barrage before.
Yeah, that's the one that I told you about.
Ah, gotcha. Because I think I saw Barrage actually like on Viz as it was going. I think.
Yeah, like there's certain like it's so cancellation is so common a meme. I mean, I've showed you guys those memes of the U19 club,
Mm-hmm.
which is the under 19 chapters club. Even though U19 was actually a manga that was in Shonen Jump that was canceled, but ever since that, it has now become a meme for any manga that's canceled under without getting past 19 chapters to join the Shonen Jump under 19 chapters cancellation club.
Yikes. I see Naru, I see Hunter's Guild. They're both just 18 chapters.
Hunter's Guild was such an upset
That's actually pretty tragic.
because that was a very interesting premise.
I was reminded of Hunter's Guild because of like Twitter. They posted like some fan art of the main chick.
Of Red.
Yeah. That is kind of a shame. Because like it's
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
it
that,
was.
because I mean you see Demon Slayer, and granted that's also because of like how well the story carries itself. You see My Hero and how gripping the presentation is for the anime. And I can't help but think about all these other works that I don't even see anime adaptations of. I mean, obviously Kaiju number 8, I don't think it has been announced for like an anime adaptation yet, but
It
I can
has
see it. Oh, nice. But I can then see it as
yeah,
well.
Kaiju number eight's fantastic.
hmm And I
Like
don't.
it's
Oh,
it could definitely it has the potential to be the next show similar to Attack on Titan.
hmm And you know, I can't believe I was so oblivious to it. Because I've only seen it from like the anime perspective of works that have plot. if you will.
Plot.
The plot thickens. Yeah, no, it's just like no, it's totally manga tactics. It's popularity tactics. That's what they do. You flip through the page and you just see
Titties.
you see Food Wars and you're like, oh,
Titties.
I'm curious.
Oh yeah. It's like, well, that's the thing. Naturally, like when you've got a demographic that's a bunch of men, what do men tend to like?
Neuron activation.
Naturally, yeah.
So I was
And
like, now I made the connection. I was like, I get it. It's weird because like I get it in the sense of like these are like young boys, young teens watching this. So of course, like hormonal responses are going to like go follow suit with that. But I never really made that connection. Now looking at an actual like Shonen Jump.
Oh, I knew.
So I was like, damn, no wonder Fairy Tail was like that. Damn.
Well, yeah, that's I think that's just in the Shueisha magazine though, not in Jump.
Oh really? Okay, got you. Well,
yeah. Fairy Tail is some people think Fairy Tail is Jump, but it's not.
Got you. I guess Shueisha has their own thing too. Might be similar too.
Yeah, I think like I'm pretty sure Tokyo Revengers is also in Shueisha.
Whoa. You know, someone. Here, a quick aside. I remember watching a TikTok of like these dudes. They were just having a talk about like characters. The guy from Yu Yu Hakusho, the main dude.
Yusuke.
Yeah, Yusuke. They're saying like, you know, like Yusuke's like obviously he has like his whole anime powers, but outside of it, he's just like a brawler. I mean, that's it. And they were saying like, you know, I think you do extremely well in Tokyo Revengers. Like he could just lead the organization, and someone was like he wouldn't want that. Nah, he wouldn't want that responsibility. And they're like, they'll just give him the jacket. You know, like you just come back whenever you want to have a meeting or something like that. You do your own thing.
Maybe I could see him working out in the Tokyo Manji gang. Maybe we'll see.
But I think no, I don't know too much about that character, but I feel like he probably would just kind of go on his own accord. But otherwise he would literally just beat the brakes off everybody.
Beat the absolute brakes off them.
And then I remember, oh my god, then I was, because of the algorithm, I was linked to another video about for Bleach. It was when Ichigo was just a regular dude, and he just had like 7 other dudes who were gonna fight him. He was like, "Hey, I'd like to call an ambulance for like 7 of them."
For like 7 of them.
I was like, my god.
Oh, I also want to point out, because of course, Doran was canceled. It finished with Chapter 36. And there is currently 2 new series that are coming. So it's like, I see they made room. And so there's 2 new series that are coming. One series, I believe, there's one series that is called Tokyo Demon Bride. And then there's another series coming, which, let me, hold on, I'll look up the name. But let me just make sure I got the first name right. Yes, Tokyo Demon Bride Story by Tadachi Nakama. A childhood promise of marriage comes back to haunt a young man.
Yeah, just being there to witness like an actual like Shonen Jump magazine and understand like the workings behind it. I kind of like, if I could, it'd be great to like just try to pick up like every single like iteration and just track one specific series. Because
we used to get them.
Yeah. But
we used to have those back in the stores all the time. I remember growing up, there used to always be the big ass Shonen Jump magazines.
Man, I missed out on that. But yeah, Stephanie was saying that for Demon Slayer specifically, it was consistent. It was like in a good placement every single time up until like the finishing bits. If not like maybe till then. And I was like, that's wild.
Like, if anything, it could be argued. I don't even think it can be argued that Demon Slayer was a cultural phenomenon in Japan, especially. Like it is the most, like, the movie was the best-selling movie of all time in Japan.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, that was like a really good movie. But yeah, it sold well here. But the way it sold in Japan was ridiculous. Like, it sold. It sold.
Like, it was a ridiculous number.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see that number and you're like, holy fuck.
Good lord, dude.
You're like, it's good, it's really good, but holy shit.
Yeah, so that was just really eye opening, and I now can see like why shonen is developed the way it is. When we see a chapter now, it's like that's gonna be like in the back of my head thinking like, oh, they specifically wanted to like that's the whole reason why they have high stakes stuff in shonen in the first place. Why there's so many like action sequences, why there's a lot of fan service. It's all calculated.
Well, I mean, yeah, I figured that. I figured everyone knew that.
I actually couldn't connect those dots. I saw those things as individual like values that like the creator himself wanted or herself wanted to just put into that without any
You just
other
thought.
context.
You just thought he's like, I just want to show titties.
Well, no, like obviously, like there's an appeal to that, so that's like in the working. But I never thought about it in the context of like their placement in like a Shonen Jump like issue, and now I can finally start to think about that and make connect those dots. Like
Gotcha.
why? Well, actually, there was a sequence for Demon Slayer where it was kind of slow, and that was the actual recovery arc, and I was like, ah, I get it. Like I mean, obviously, there's got to be recovery arcs sometimes, but that does like put you like lower in the placements. So you have to like
Oh,
pick that up
absolutely.
soon. So I was like, wow, okay, okay, all right. Because like otherwise, I would just view it as like, oh, obviously, there's got to be some cool action here and there. Like it's a whole conflict in the story, but I can also see how people would try to like think about that as far as like, okay, so we're not doing so well like this month or this issue, so we need to like push forward and devise like this story here. Granted, you know, the creator can always like create a template as far as like what their story is, and just it's about like how they want to present it that keeps it like very interesting and like eye grabbing for the audience. So now I kind of see it in a different perspective now, so it's really cool to find out. Also, Stephanie big on Monster Hunter. Like we're talking PlayStation 2 era. She's a great sword user. And
I see a woman of culture.
and you know, yeah, like I was asking her about like recommendations for like other Monster Hunter games like prior to like Rise. And of course there's World, but there's also like Generations Ultimate, which maybe I should pick up at some point.
I would like to, but the thing is, I'd have to play it on my Switch. And the thing about my Switch is, right now, I can't stop spinning.
So I gotta ask, what I know that you've had this Joy-Con drift for a while, so I was just wondering, is that gonna get resolved anytime, or
It will. I just need to ship them out. It's just me being lazy shipping them out, really.
ah, fair, okay, because
That's really all it is.
okay, because I know you want to kind of jump back into like the co-op hunts, especially since you've been going through Iceborne solo, so and you know like I have like my files still carried over from the Xbox version of just World, but that means I do have to catch up quite a bit.
And I will glide you through all of that.
So yeah, but like right now I'm just well actually I'm gonna probably slow down on like Sunbreak because it really is just grinding, but I don't really need to like do excessive grinding. I'm not too big and fixated on just like building the character. Now I'm just getting lazy. So I'm like, okay, well, this fit's already working. So I think we could just stick with that. So I'll just find like Scorn Magnamalo, um, and beat it, and then we'll just wait for the next update
So that's been my philosophy.
because they're just gonna have more updates later on. So we're good. No need for me to like rush like an entire build for it. I will say though, Stephanie brought up some good points about fighting Kashala to farm those large Elder Dragon like gems things. Just stun it always. Bring your those like bugs, bringing flashbangs and whatnot, you're good. I fought Teostra instead. No, I took the hard route.
You want to talk about hard? You don't know.
I saw the VOD. You were talking about Behemoth and probably other Iceborne like monsters as well.
Behemoth, Safi, even World Rajang is hella hard.
Hmm. Well, in that case, I might lean more towards Charge Blade still.
I will help you speed run.
We'll see. But I also wanted to like understand some of the other mechanics too, if there's anything that's worth picking up as
Clutch
well.
claw.
But yeah. But I'll definitely get around to World and Iceborne at some point.
Did you see the Discord?
What's showing up, because I don't really get the notifications anymore. Soloing Iceborne, I'm fine. Also me. I've been born with glass legs and paper skin.
I was born with glass bones and paper skin. Every night I break my arms. Every morning I break my legs.
At night, I would typically cry myself to sleep.
Until the unbearable pain has me cry myself to sleep.
Oh yeah. Oh, one last thing. I can't really say much because it's like getting into like more personal info, but David's line of work is not too far off from like what like my Pacific company does, as far as like treat other people with like specific like problems. So David just like had like this plethora of stories to tell, and it was the wildest shit. Like it's something that if you saw it on like Netflix and stuff, it would just immediately pop off. It would be like the most popular thing if they were to try to like dramatize that. It was so.
And here I thought he was just gonna play this. He was gonna play the system and just do school forever.
Nah, that's not actually what he wanted to do. But it's super interesting to hear those stories. But that's just something I wanted to throw out there. It was so wild. Christine was like literally watching my reactions to it. I was like, dude, I was so bewildered by everything.
You have to tell me a little bit about it later on.
Like, I wish I could tell you everything, but I could not. Like, all the stories I talk about, like from when I did like case management related stuff, does not even compare.
I remember a few of those stories. They were like, oh, but I'm sure what you're talking about, David, it's like, oh.
It's nuts, dude. Okay. Alrighty. So, just real quick, this not necessarily trying to be a flex, but I did want to the pickups. They're all just 3DS games, okay?
I knew it.
So finally the whole order has like shown up now. So we have like all of them right here. So obviously Monster Hunter Stories is the expensive one, right? Ever Oasis was actually fairly priced for this one. For a while when I was looking at it, it was like $60. I was like, is there a way for it to go lower? And now it was like at closer to MSRP. So I was like, nice, I'll do that. And then I just got like these 3 additional Mario and Luigi games. So aside from Partners in Time, which is stuck on the DS version, I don't have that. I do at least have all the new ones plus the remakes on the 3DS. So
does 3DS not play the 3DS plays DS games, doesn't it?
It does. So if I have a DS version of Partners in Time, then I could.
Yeah, seriously. Problem solved.
Problem solved. It'll just look weird on your collection. But it's okay. So it was Bowser's Inside Story was 1 out of 2 remakes from the previous games. Superstar Saga was the first one. Dream Team was like the first one on the 3DS for Mario and Luigi, and then the follow-up was Paper Jam, which I've heard okay things about that, but you know, I have wanted to actually play through like the Mario and Luigi games like and complete them, because I played it once on Superstar. I could not finish that though, so then I'll just do the timing of it. And then I had a weird story with Ever Oasis. Like first of all, it does look aesthetically really pleasing to the eye as far as the gameplay and just like the overall looks.
Tiny.
But the other thing is that it's also due in part by guilt on my end. It,
By guilt.
yeah, I felt kind of guilty. This one, obviously, there's a demo for it, but it was back in Comic-Con when Nintendo was still doing their like Nintendo Lounge thing. It was taking place like somewhere in the Marriott, literally right next door to the convention center. And I remembered that everyone was in line for Super Smash Brothers. I believe for like Wii U and 3DS at the time, and I was
Oh, wow, that's a long time ago.
so I was waiting in line for that one. And this one of the dudes at the kiosk for Ever Oasis was like specifically calling me over to say like, "Hey, you can you can play Ever Oasis." And I was like, "I'd rather just wait over here." It's like, "No, why? I mean, you could hold the spot," but I was already like on this fixed mindset of just like, "Nah, I don't want to. I don't want to really play that one. I'd rather play Smash Bros. Right now." So I think I ended up going back to it to play it, but like that memory still hangs on to me. So I was like, well, it was a really good game, but like I was so fixated on playing Smash Brothers. So I wanted to take the opportunity to play through the game personally. I already seen the reviews too, so I'm pretty sure it's still like up my alley, but I at least wanted to get this one. Then stories. Because now
I
I'm
mean,
good.
when Smash is there, it's Smash. You're naturally going to be like, oh.
Yeah. Like I see Smash, I'm like,
As does anybody who plays Smash. We're like, ooh.
hey, what
Give me
you
if I see
doing?
Smash. If I see Smash, it's like the Simon Cowell thing with the laser eyes.
Hmm. Also, a quick little thing. It's a little bit of a plug, especially for the Twitch channel itself. For those who are watching YouTube, this doesn't really apply, but it is September. So Twitch has
You
this thing.
remember?
I know I was blasting Earth, Wind, Fire that very first day. It was kind of crazy. I got to listen to some tracks that I was not familiar with, but I usually kind of like hover towards September every time.
You just hit it on September on repeat.
I had it for a little bit until like I had intermittent. Well, I just had like points where I wanted to listen to something else and not like get sick of the song, but I just hopped back to the song again later on, like an hour later. But aside from September, September is a nice little thing for those who want to save on like their subscriptions with other channels. So the idea is that you get a percentage off depending on like how long you've been subbed for like a channel, from 1 month to 3 months to 6 months at the max. 6 months is you saving 30% off on your subscription, and the second tier is 25% for 3 months or so, and then you just get $20 or 20, not $20, 20% off on a first month one. So it's definitely worth it. So even whether you want to support this channel or you want to support another channel as well, like Phil's channel at MotionMan64,
Plug.
feel free to do that. Here's Ghost Hand. Mayo is good, yes or no? Actual answer is yes. I agree.
It's more of a texture thing for me rather than a taste thing. I think mayo adds a certain good texture rather than a taste.
I agree with that actually. Also, sorry, Ghost Hand, you suggested a poll, huh? Can we? Yeah, hold on. Can I entertain that right now? I can. I don't know how to do it though. I'm I'm terrible at this.
I have much experience making polls, so I can't help you on this one.
Here, I'll try to. Oh, there we go. I just had to like just do /poll and then like hit enter, and it will just set up a whole brand new thing for me. That's perfect. So I'll just go ahead and do it. And you know what? We'll set that for 10 minutes, and there you go. I will say, can I vote? I can. I'm gonna put a personal vote into that. Yeah. But yeah, I like to do spicy mayo these days. It's literally just mayo and spicy sriracha just like stirred together.
You say it's legit what that is?
Yeah, that's all it really. I mean, you can get kind of fancy, kinda, by adding like another spice to it, but that's pretty much all it is. And
It's just sriracha mayonnaise.
it does wonders for sandwiches. It's amazing. I almost can't not do that or make a sandwich without it now.
You've become addicted.
That's how it was with like Tabasco sauce. I didn't really care about for much
Really?
like hot sauce.
Tabasco?
Yeah, like, but one time when I was like at the cafeteria, I had my own food. It was like an egg sandwich, and I was like just genuinely curious, so I just got some Tabasco, like dunked it a little bit like here, and I just like wow, I was like, this is too addicting.
You were like, this isn't safe.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
Call an ambulance, but not for me.
Like, call 7 of them.
Call 7 of them. Holy shit.
Oh, Ghost Hand's actually drunk. Ah, got you.
He's drunk.
But hey, listen, I'm seeing the text. It's good than most others.
What you been drinking?
That's a good question. Ghost Hand, what you been drinking? What got any recommendations?
Been your poison of choice.
Your poison of choice. Don't drink too much, otherwise you'll actually throw up. I'm gonna throw up. But yeah, I'll definitely be giving shout outs to September for anyone who's ever curious. But I know that Twitch has been doing good as far as just letting people know. If you are, I'm not sure if it shows up on like mobile apps, but if you're on desktop, then they'll have like a little tiny like September like spread right below your channel. So there's that.
Right.
Mark, it's been really difficult for me. It kind of carries over from last week because of the fact that you know the OLED or sorry the Splatoon 3 versions of the OLED Switch are there, and granted it's kind of hard.
You are not about to buy a whole new console because of the Splatoon design.
You're right, I'm not. It's just really hard to resist.
So I'm hearing is you really want to.
I really want to because it looks so sick. It's the coolest. I mean, hey, it's the coolest
it's
design.
Your money, bro.
I know, but I cannot rationalize that. It's just the OLED screen that I'd like.
I mean, if you want to get it,
I could, yeah, but it's just like
It's like real legit. It's like if you want to treat yourself, treat yourself.
I guess so. I'd have to go through the whole process. Like, sure, I can make the excuse that like, oh, I need an extra dock for like if I ever wanted to play in the living room. I've also been eyeballing because of the fact that, and it's not really the OLED, but it's mainly because like I kind of wanted to do like more like handheld like gaming, but doing that with the Joy Cons kind of sucks over time. You start to get a little cramped up with that. So I've been keeping my eyes out for like the Satisfy like brand and their Zen Pro grip or Zen Grip Pro. So I've been eyeballing that for a hot minute. But that doesn't really help with this urge to try to resist. I mean, the main reason I don't want one is because, or the OLED, is because, like, honestly, it is just the OLED that I get. And maybe, you know, and the dock as well. But there's no, like, actual, like, upgrade to it aside from that. So, but then I went to Phil's place, like, a couple weeks back. And I got to play like some of the retro stuff there, and just looks so clean. Oh, so I might cave. But yeah, I'll have to go through that whole transfer process. It wasn't too bad. It's just it's just a pain. It just takes a while. You literally have to set these two consoles together and just let it play. So I mean we'll see. I would say if it's available through GameStop or Best Buy, then maybe it'll be that time. Oh, but Ghost Hand was saying for the drink, it was just the cheapest Belgian beer possible. Stella Artois. It's really neat if you want like a nice buzz. 6 cans and you are the happiest person alive.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. I can agree with that.
And pin chat. I gotta bring my laundry downstairs.
Oh, got you. Um, but also like there's these I mean, you guys anyone who's like familiar with Phil's channel and been watching him, you know that he rocks the Astro A10s. Um, those headsets have been like consistent sale of like $50, and they usually do not go down. But I've been seeing them like go lower because they've been trying to put in a new version of the A10s, like a Series 2. So those A10s are going down on pricings, and it's starting to like make me think about it. But I was like, nah, even for $25, like I already have too many headsets that I don't use. So I'm also like combating that too. But it's $25. Damn it. And I have my GameStop $5 now. Damn it. So the headsets are actually $20. The sweet spot. Damn, dude. But it is my money, so I guess the new house ain't going anywhere. It'll be fine. I'll be fine. Damn, now I want to kind of look at Best Buy and GameStop now. We're on a mission. We're on a mission. And let me see. There's something else I want to bring up as well. Actually, there's a couple of things I did want to bring up. So I did talk about a little bit of like manga and anime. So that was really fun for me to just kind of have an eye-opening experience with that. Talked about the 3DS games being picked up that are now added to the backlog list. Did the September plug. Talked about my consistent like resistance towards all these new things showing up. Scarlet and Violet actually had a new thing. And it's kind of weird how they're kind of updating us on like new things showing up. The game's coming out in November, so I guess they have like quite a bit of time just to show off any new things, unless it's like, you know, Nintendo Direct related. Although they might just do their own Pokemon Presents thing. So there's also that. But the new thing that they showed off was a new Pokemon, Grafaiai. Just think about Smirgo, but like a little bit more antsy, more angst. It's
What about active?
I was just actually talking about the new Pokemon that they showed off.
Oh, I was gonna say I wanted to be here for that.
Well, it's too late. I'm just kidding. We just started.
Yeah, Grafaiai.
Grafaiai is think Smirgo but with more angst.
He's also based on a lemur and a loris.
I like that. It's a normal and poison type, which is an interesting pairing, but I can see it.
It makes a ton of sense if you know the animal.
Hmm.
The loris is actually the world's only poisonous primate.
That's so interesting. But
And guess where the poison is? On one of the fingers, just like Grafaiai.
hmm. So I didn't really read too much about Grafaiai. I kind of wanted to save for like probably like some kind of reaction of sorts about like the actual video itself. Because I did watch the video about like the pseudo like research on the Grafaiai, and so I saw that a little bit, and it pretty much tells you exactly what you need to know about like the contextual stuff about Grafaiai.
Oh, you didn't watch the actual reveal trailer?
Not the gameplay like specific one that's like 43 seconds. I watched like the actual like minute long thing where it's just this dude just doing the research. He's
I loved that. I thought it was great. I was like, I like this documentary style they're doing.
I remember seeing that for like Legends Arceus when they were talking about the Zora and then Zoroark as well. So I did like that part about it. That's a level of mystery.
It also fits with the Pokemon world a lot of like just look at that Pokemon right there.
Mm-hmm. You're also talking about how Grafaiai does that to mark its territory. It gets startled easily, and then it spits paint at the camera.
Also, the reason they used a lemur and a loris. This is considering what the region is based on. Spain and Portugal. Portugal had a certain big thing about the colonization progress of Madagascar, where the lemurs and the lorises come from. Madagascar.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, Loxton and Noggin, for teaching me these things.
Also, poll's been completed. Mayo's so good. Mayo is good. Best be because you kind of use mayo for other like ingredients too. Helps with if you know how to make a pretty good coleslaw. Mayo's part of that too.
Also, there wasn't their interesting fact. Hold on, hold on,
Oh, okay.
hold on, hold on. Ah, that's what it was. The Oma Forest.
Hmm.
That's where Grafaya is. It's a very famous thing in Spain, the Oma Forest.
Hmm.
It's aka the Painted Forest.
Oh wow. Okay.
So, so that's why he is there, because it's actually a very famous thing in Spain where all the trees are painted pretty much exactly like you see them.
Interesting.
So yeah, they really. It's cool to see the. Cause just think, people. I have a friend who says like he thinks with the names of for Pokemon aren't as good as they used to be, and I can see his point with some of the names. But I do. I like where they're going with a lot of the design aspects.
Hmm. Fido. Hello.
Yeah, he says like it's not even that creative of a name.
That's why I hit him up with the Doberman.
That's why he said the same thing about like Lechonk. He said it's not even that creative. I said, but I love it. He said, but
But
it's still not that creative.
I like it.
I like it because I think it's funny.
Yeah, no, it's just a very charming name given the
Lechonk.
context.
Yeah, because it's just Spanish for piglet with chonk on the end.
Yeah. But yeah, Grafii. Honestly, without the context, you probably see it too. I thought about Nolan with this Pokemon. Like my mind went to like this is a Nolan Pokemon. It just has that look.
I really want to hear his opinion on it now.
Hmm. Yeah, no. But to kind of go off of Grafai's like reveal, people make quick work on art with Grafii. They just have like these really cool designs and whatnot, and especially when they pair it up with Smeargle. Smeargle needs to come back.
Like that's the thing. Smeargle was very similar concept, I
Mhm.
believe, to Grafii. I think so. Grafii is technically just like I mean they might be related. Who knows?
Mhm.
Like well, it's because I believe they're both eight. They're both monkeys, primates, I believe.
Monkey. Smeargle is kind of
Monkey.
interesting. I actually don't even know what Smeargle is.
I mean, I think I mean, with that tail, I would imagine he is some type of primate.
Mm-hmm. And we're talking about Gen 2 Pokemon.
And of course, with Grafii, he is a lemur slash loris, which I believe, yes, is in the primate family.
Okay. All right.
Good. But yeah, I think Grafii. My God, like the only thing I wasn't too like the only thing I wasn't too sure about was his face. I was like, I don't know how I feel about the face, but I like the other parts of the design.
I actually really like that. It's oh shoot. It's giving me vibes of like oh my god. What's the name of the group? Or actually the one dude.
I was gonna say insane clown posse.
No. It's crazy though. Now I look at it, yeah, he does have kind of like this lens face, but like the way like it's drawn gives it like a lot of expression.
It does have a lot of expression. Like I'm sure the design will grow on me. Like because I like the design for the most part. The face just threw me off just a little bit.
No, I get you. I think what's interesting about like the initial art design was the fact that like it is drawn kind of lanky at certain points. Like the arms are kind of like well, I mean arms have to be kind of the way they are because of it. But the fact that they're like contorted in different ways, and it's not that wasn't weird. That was actually kind of like an interesting thing for me to see. It's weird because like I look at the new Pokemon designs, I wonder like does this feel like a Pokemon design or not? And it's kind of as we get into like later generations, becomes a little bit harder for me to like have a definitive answer. Like I believe
Yeah,
I think around like Gen 5, I was like, there's some of these that just doesn't feel like a Pokemon design.
Yeah, like there are definitely some where it's like they're going a bit like, but I expect that at this point because
Right,
as
right.
Pokemon is getting older, Pokemon is also trying to stay fresh. They are trying to test things. They're trying to try new styles. They're trying to do this. And
Mhm.
I think that it's, when you do that, you're going to get some hits, you're going to get some misses.
Yeah. Like I think from Gen 5 actually, there was a another, well, I'm not sure. I think no, I think it was like the current gen or no, well previous gen. Gen 9, right? We're currently at? No, that's
Yeah,
this
yeah,
game.
we're Generation 9.
Yeah, it was
At least with Scarlet and Violet, we're Generation 9.
gotcha. It was had to be Gen 8 then. For Sword and Shield, there was a I think it was a normal type Pokemon, if not a normal psychic or just psychic. It looks like it has the same like structure as an Audino from Gen 5, but it's like purple and sheep like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the name of that one, but like that's a design where I'm like, this doesn't really hit off that well, and I guess because I the fact that I don't remember it that well. But yeah, that one didn't really stick. There's also the one that's just like a tea kettle. Not the strongest, but I like the origins of that one though.
Oh, yeah, the teapot.
Yeah, yeah, I am liking the design so far though. They're just so different.
Oh yeah, like I've enjoyed a lot of the designs I've seen for Scarlet and Violet. I have some friends who have not very much liked them, but to me, I'm like, I don't mind them. I think they're fine. I think they,
Mhm.
in fact, look pretty good. Like I wasn't sure about the starters at first. I was like, I don't know how I feel, but they've really grown on me.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Like when I first saw them, I was like, "What the?" But I was like, "They're not bad," but I don't know. But the more time's gone on, I was like, I like Quaxley, I like Fuecoco, I like
Yeah,
Sprigatito.
you know,
Yeah, but the game's gonna be out in 2 months.
oh my god, yeah, that's why they are pushing forward. It's gonna be interesting to see how they further advertise it. If they're not gonna do a Pokemon Presents, if for that reason of having those they don't show up in directs later on, then I'm curious how they're gonna just release stuff to us. But only time will tell. They might even come up with something like next week. Who knows? But yeah. So with that in mind, I did want to talk about something else. It's about She-Hulk actually. How have you caught up with that one?
Oh yeah, I've been current with She-Hulk.
Okay, cool, cool. Because I finally had done the time yesterday to actually sit down and watch like episodes 2 and 3, and I actually really do like it. People are taking like She-Hulk way out of context now, as far as like,
Well, it's like one of my friends said he's found some of the stuff to be kind of cringy, and I was like, I can see where he's coming from, but
sure,
at the same time, he also agreed that the show has some really great parts, but it also has some parts where it's like, but like I say that I think the show is great. I think it's a good show. I just
hmm,
think that it's definitely a different direction for a Marvel show.
yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
It's definitely more focused around comedy.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
it's felt more of a comedy than anything.
I agree. I think that it just it doesn't like I don't know what's my like initial hookup of like a lot of action like Marvel movies, pretty much from the origins or the past ones, but they definitely have shifted gears towards stuff that are a little bit more a little lighthearted. There are some that actually are serious, a little bit darker. I think WandaVision was deceptively like a
It's a
bit more.
mixture.
Yeah, it was a mixture, but it was like otherwise deceptively like comedy for the most part. But obviously, like that, even that first episode kind of gave you like a hint of like something's up with that. But
Dark.
and Loki's kind of the same thing too because it's a mixture of that. It has a bit of drama. Um, I would say that Falcon and Winter Soldier also had just a little bit of comedy, but it was a little bit more action orientated and kind of more world like.
It had a good amount of comedy.
Yeah, like my favorite thing from Falcon and Winter Soldier is like they're kind of like their first op like in scene together, and it just shows like Falcon like catching up to Bucky like really like slick like, and like Bucky was kind of taken aback about like how quick Sam's being, but
It's the wings.
yeah, also the whole like white or slash silver wolf naming.
Yeah, well, that's because that's the thing. It's like White Wolf is it's an homage to Black Panther's adopted white brother from the comics.
Wow, that's actually really cool. I actually didn't know that. But I think from what I see, also sorry guys, I'm like looking away from the camera. So I'm caving in now with that Switch OLED. So I'm gonna add to cart.
Add to cart.
Deliver this bit.
Deliver this bitch. Day one delivery.
You kind of know it. Within the next couple hours, we can get it done today. It's like what? Hell yeah,
Let's go.
let's go.
But yeah, like then there's you know, a lot. Like there's the thing. Marvel has had their formula for a while now. Their formula is good, is really good action. Sometimes, yes, could be on the darker side, but if there's one thing a Marvel movie has to have, it's always comedy.
Yeah, I'm not sure how other people feel about that, but I'm personally like engaged with like comedy factors because like.
Of course, I think the comedy in the Marvel movies is fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So like personally, I'm just down for it.
Same.
So
And when it comes to She-Hulk, I think it's
okay.
been good. I'd give it a good, like, yeah, it's a good show.
Personally, like in addition to the comedy thing, I love the fact that it kind of is in the know of like the universe of the MCU. And I understand that like they're aware of that, and I think partially they played off like as like a viewpoint of like them wanting the viewers to focus on this being a She-Hulk show and not like an MCU cameo show. But I can't help but feel like that helps bolster it in
It's
its own way too.
it's kind of what it is.
Yeah, because the idea is that like She-Hulk currently, and this is mild spoilers for the show itself, but essentially it's She-Hulk now having her new powers has this new position within a superpower division. Those that will deal with superpower stuff and talk about the logistics, the rationality of stuff. And I want to say, and this is kind of like full out spoilers now, but seeing Wong in episode 3 and just like how he responds to all of this, and granted it's comedic, but it's also like eye-opening in the fact that like Sorcerer Supreme here, as wise as he is, has no sense of like the rationality that is him literally taking Abomination by force out of his prison cell to just train with them, and then
That's a
him just
crime. I must take my leave.
yeah, he was so nonchalant about it.
He said, I must take my leave.
Yeah, he dipped. That's
Megan the Stallion.
dude. Like I rightfully so, they had to kind of shell that out a little bit.
That I was like, I found that kind of funny in terms of like when they said they're dating the Megan the Stallion. I was like, no shot, she's gonna actually show up. No shot, no shot. She shows up like,
It was wild because I'm telling you straight up, like it sucks because his name's actually Dennis as like the character, because of course like we have the homie Dennis who's not related to this.
don't you dare just tell me, oh, Dennis, he happens to love Megan the Stallion.
I don't know about that. I haven't been able to keep in touch with him, so I'm really curious like his take on it. But I I'm gonna tell you right now, I've already shared my thoughts on Messenger, but I do not like that character. Like, there ain't no way there's such a character like this in what the time frame is like 2027.
What? Which character?
This dude Dennis something,
Oh, I think you underestimate people.
maybe. I think you're right.
He's just a guy that full of him. Yes, that exists. Trust me.
I'm just so like
They exist.
I was just so dumbfounded by like because
Granted,
because
granted, I do think they it kind of makes sense because I mean, from what I know about the director, it kind of makes sense that she does that.
see, I don't really follow the director personally, so I had no like actual concept of like what things were like.
I
But
mean, because like I saw it the first episode, I was like, ah, there it is.
mm, so
Because I know that she's I myself would classify myself as a feminist in the terms of I think women should be treated the same as men. I think they should have equal pay. I think they should be able to do what we do
mm,
without as long as they don't get hurt. I feel like they yeah should have every right that we have.
mm,
But there are
demo.
some there are some people who are feminists to a degree of where it seems a bit extreme,
I agree with that.
and they have certain ways of showing that off. And some parts of She-Hulk, I've seen a little. I'm not saying it's a bad show at all. I'm just saying sometimes you see a little bit of that.
You see a little bit of like overexerting like this viewpoint of like feminism that doesn't align with you as a feminist. I get you. I get you.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a hardcore direction.
I think so too. Like you kind of see like a little bit more of extreme measures here and there. You even see that in just like those I wouldn't say it's a montage. It was just a sequence of people reacting to She-Hulk existing. Like there's there's this one dude on whatever like obligatory app like in the episode that was like, you know, it's cool that like you're a superhero. I'm like totally for like women superheroes, but if you're gonna be one, do your own thing. I was like, you cannot be serious.
I know. I was like, I see you, miss. I see you.
And then there was like a YouTube video, and like people were like, "Hey, like to get this person canceled." I was like, "Oh no, the cancel culture's here too."
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, no, I really like the episode, especially just kind of as Dublonsky was so fun to just kind of like go back and revisit because I didn't care for the character obviously in the first movie because he was like a main villain who was like obsessive about like taking down the Hulk. But to kind of get like a weird closure about, well, not weird closure, but just to get a closure is unexpectedly weird because
Because he said he said he wasn't in control of his actions.
I'm pretty sure like due to some legal reasons sometimes, but otherwise it was just one of those things that wasn't the main focus. But Bruce never even talked about that.
Pete,
Uh,
what are you doing, Pete?
and just a real quick aside, the fact that they had this conversation over the phone before Hulk, sorry, I keep saying Hulk. It's technically both, but Bruce, he's on the what are they called again? Sakarian like airship, and he just zooms out to space. But before that, it really was Jennifer like calling him just to tell him not to get like a consent about like doing the coverage to defend or take on Blonsky's case. It's just to tell him that she is doing Blonsky's case and just wants to let him know.
And he was like, "Trust me, we worked that out a long time ago. It's all good."
I was like, that's actually kind of wholesome and does work for his case too. Because I didn't know what to expect with Blonsky. I kind of assumed that he might just want to turn evil and is just playing a good guy act. But no, he has like six honeys.
7
He's got seven like
7
soulmates.
soulmates that he met through the prison pen pal program.
And it's not even a facade. Like he turned, everyone freaked out, but all the ladies were just like, "Oh my god."
They were like, "Oh."
That was so wild, dude. What a crazy character development. But yeah, no, I really like that though. So props to them.
Hey.
But yeah, no, it's working out pretty well now.
Hey,
So
stop.
I'll
Sorry,
oh yeah,
dogs
I'll
are
hear it.
arguing.
I got you. I got you. They gotta be like that. But yeah, so She-Hulk is just a really nice, like refreshing like series to kind of sit down and watch. It's
And now twerking She-Hulk is a meme.
Yeah. So, real quick, I wanted to say that like out of all the shows, I like that this one's a little bit more self-referential, and I think it's because of the fact of She-Hulk being like how she is and her background and what she actually is supposed to be doing, which is essentially, aside from like kicking ass, right? She's also like there for potential other like superpower like characters existing or new to kind of have like their own case and to really talk about like the logistics of having superpower people like go about and just wrecking like New York every like so often, for example.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just really nice to see like there's that level of world building that they can like jump back into, and She Hulk's like the perfect candidate to kind of observe and actually take action for that kind of stuff. But as far as like a big super bad, we haven't quite seen that yet. We got some ideas of that though, in the episode 3. So I'll look forward to that. But yeah, people are taking the twerking thing like way too seriously.
That's one of the things my friend found cringy.
Yeah. No, like I mean this is granted this was an IGN like interview, real quick interview about like um well the Tatiana's like response and just feelings about it. Apparently this was something that was planned out for her because she was a huge Megan Thee Stallion fan. So it was just kind of for her.
She's cool. I mean, she Megan Thee Stallion's a huge anime fan.
Oh hell yeah. She's
Oh yeah,
no, yeah, she's cool already.
oh, yeah, she's one of us.
Yeah. I like that. But you know, I think it was just a nice lighthearted like post credit scene. That's all it was. The whole "I'll kill for you" Megan Thee Stallion, and she's like, "Dial it back." Just,
I just think it's been funny. Everyone's like, where the MCU started, where we're at.
mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, that's funny.
It is funny because like it's obviously not going to be quite the same way. Times
Well, it'll never be the same.
it'll never be the same. And I think it's just fine for that.
It was just a goofy slice of life episode.
Well, I guess that scene specifically, but I did like how they were working towards that. I like how in episode 3 there was a lot less She-Hulk doing any type of action whatsoever. The fact that it was like in the sense of like being in a prison setting that Jennifer could not turn because it would alarm everybody. She just took that as just like her thing. So the fact is that even though it's She-Hulk, it's also just Jennifer like Walters just doing her thing.
It's just Jennifer Walters. She just also happens to be the She-Hulk.
Yeah, because like it doesn't define her. Like she's still her own character. She just so happens to be the She-Hulk.
She-Hulk's diet and exercise tips.
Wait, what was that?
She's like, what?
So it's gonna be interesting to see how she kind of balances that out. Obviously, she's doing just fine too, but really curious about that. Also, the really funny thing was, I think it was like it was episode 2, where it shows the fact that like even though like She-Hulk is immune to like alcohol, Jennifer herself isn't. So she she transforms.
She went back to normal.
Yeah, she immediately got like influenced.
Drunk. Immediately drunk upon going back to normal.
Also, it turns out that like the way she kind of interacts with like people at her job is pretty laid back, and that's her character, just period. Even though like the comics too, because someone just posted it on Twitter, just like a comic like spread of just like them at the office, and someone saying like we know what you did, like you scanned your butt like on the printers, like how can you assume that it's colored paper, Jennifer?
Called paper.
It's colored paper. We know it's a green ass. So I'd love to see a little bit more about that because my initial impressions of She-Hulk was that she was like super professional in the sense that she could handle her own emotions, but it turns out she's actually kind of goofy.
Oh yeah, she's only human.
Yeah, I mean like even carries in like those scenes where like Dennis showed up and she just outright said like I'm down to listen and say no to this. But you know,
I mean, it's like she's got her own quirks.
yeah, so it's nice that like she has like her own personality. It's definitely different from Bruce's, which again I thought was a really cool thing for them to do, and especially with Bruce being like in that first episode, um, and the way he talks, how he confronts like this new situation. It's far different than anyone else would, and it kind of just it kind of complements like the awkward factor that he is just an awkward dude at the end of the day.
Oh yeah. He's always been just a scientist kind of guy.
Yeah, not too much for like staying in tune of like what Jennifer wanted. So it was, again, going back to that first episode, that was actually a really nice like touch, because if you're like really open-minded, you know like what the problem is, but Bruce doesn't see that. He just sees the fact that like you gotta be a superhero now. There's no like ifs or buts.
He did address that there's a balance, like that you could do both, but you got to at least accept the superhero part.
Yeah, I felt like he was leaning more towards just being a superhero. That like
Oh yeah, he was definitely leaning
same.
more towards hero, but he did say you could be a balance at some point.
I figured that the balance was more about like you now have that balance between like yourself and his alter ego, quote unquote, because he didn't know at the time. And it was only when she started mastering it like so quickly that he was like, "Oh, okay, okay, all right."
He said it afterwards.
I don't remember. I'll have to like check back on that
And
again.
we'll have to go back and check.
Mm-hmm. But otherwise, like obviously Jennifer was also kind of in the wrong, because like she didn't even want to have anything to do with her Hulk power. She wanted to do what she was pretty much trained to do. Took like a 6-figure loan for this.
No, no, it's also just the thing of she's still in that, like, she thinks it's gonna pass over. It's not.
Yeah, I mean,
She's
to her credit, I mean, it's almost just a cosmetic at this point. She doesn't really need
it's
it.
like if she thinks that anyone remembering that she's the She-Hulk is gonna go away, it's not.
Mm-hmm. So currently, the pacing of it
The boss.
is nice, because she doesn't really rely on her powers, but the world around her kind of does. That kind of shifts a little bit when a couple dudes were sneaking up on her, and she was like, oh wait," and so she transforms.
What'd you do? Rob an Asgardian construction worker? Yes.
And I was like, you know what? That's fair, actually. I will say that.
Once she hulked out, I couldn't even pierce that green skin.
That was pretty nice.
That needle didn't do shit.
Yeah, it didn't do shit, but I wonder what's gonna happen afterward. That's definitely the looming fear, the looming threat. So we'll see.
I have one theory, maybe.
Mm.
Red Hulk?
They want to create a Red Hulk?
I mean, that's one theory, maybe.
Hmm.
Because I'm trying to think of what someone would want with the Hulk blood, and I was like, I mean, there's the Red Hulk.
Honestly, given just how Hulk is, a lot of things. I mean, I guess that just kind of affirms why Bruce was so adamant about like erasing any like traces of blood, aside from whatever they have inside of them.
And I'm assuming Abomination, they're setting him up to be in the Thunderbolts.
Interesting. Yeah, okay. You know, if he's as reformed as he is, I got confidence in him.
We're in a secret agent's going to be in the Thunderbolts. We know
Yeah.
that Zemo is going to be leading the Thunderbolts.
He's a wild card, but I kind of have faith in him too. It's going to be interesting.
So of course they need a Hulk-like character, so Abomination works.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the Thunderbolts is. The Thunderbolts is Marvel's Suicide Squad.
Yeah, so I think you told me before. So I am kind of looking forward to like how that dynamic is going to be. And considering that the Avengers are kind of a far cry now to like how they are now, so, because of the fact that they're not like all the way there. We're still having to like put a team together for that.
Oh yeah, because there's been several iterations of the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
But there's Moon Knight's been in the Avengers before.
That's funny. Dude, oh my god, I can't wait for She-Hulk to meet Moon Knight. I want to see how they do that, because I only got the comic reference, which is like she already knows Moon Knight. Moon Knight knows her too, and knows to avoid her. It's great.
Was it in the comics?
It's really like, all right, guys, Siren, like, is that Moon Knight? And Moon Knight's like, oh fuck, it's She-Hulk,
He's like, oh shit.
the Ace Attorney, because obviously he's done some bad stuff.
Yeah, he's a vigilante hero.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I mean, you can't even imagine the Punisher in her.
Oh my god, the Punisher.
You know, he's got a laundry list of stuff she would be like,
We need to talk. We don't. Get back here.
And I mean, we've already gotten a few Easter eggs throughout the show. We've gotten one for the Avengers. We've gotten one for the X-Men. We've gotten yada 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 yada.
Yada 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 yada.
Yada 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 yada.
Why is that so good? What the?
Yada 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 yada.
I don't know how she does it. But man, dude, it's, I don't know. I like She-Hulk so far. It's just a fun ride.
Yeah.
I can get why Kristoff is like behind that too.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I think that's everything. Mark, was there anything you wanted to bring up before we go ahead and call?
No, I think we got it all for right now.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, then we'll go ahead and call. So thank you guys so much for tuning in for this episode of DangIT Prodcast. It's been episode 426. My name is Justin.
Mark.
And thanks for watching. Hashtag bye, everybody. Yada 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 yada.
Yada 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 yada.